Hi, this is Sally and Ross, your counselors at South Puget Sound Community College, and we're here to check in with you today. Hope you're all doing well out there. And Ross, I know you've been having some concerns about students getting outside, getting enough sunlight with the governor's recent orders to be sheltering and staying indoors to stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard the stay home, stay healthy talk by Governor Inslee, and was glad he's started that initiative, but a little bit concerned about the name and that it seems to imply you need to to be healthy, you need to stay holed up in your actual home rather than, being out in your garden or out for a walk or a run or walking your dog or going for a bike ride or something like that.
Yeah. I had a similar reaction, and one of the things that I think you and I have in common is that we wanted to make sure students know that we're on a couple of week break before we come back into instruction, and maybe to be using that time to make sure that they're getting outside and getting the sunlight that they need. I know one of the things that I am really interested in is some research related to what's called forest bathing. And researchers in Japan looking at the immune system boost that people get when they're outside with trees, because there's actually essential oils and these compounds that trees release that our immune systems respond to, and we see a bump in T cell counts when people are in a natural environment.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It makes me think that our bodies have evolved for thousands and thousands and thousands of years as hunter-gatherers. Those who would be outside, of course, not just held up in the cave, but be outside foraging, hunting, things like that. Those were the folks who survived. So our bodies are adapted to be outside under the sky. It's right. So recent that we're held up in a home.
Yeah, right. It is fairly recent in human history that we're in these buildings so much of the time. So what? Given the that parks are closed now, Department of Natural Resources, has closed things. What advice would you have for students then about how to get outside but still be safe from the coronavirus?
Yeah, so I do want to say that Governor Inslee in his press conference was really clear about this, saying he's welcoming and encouraging, even at this time, folks getting outside as long as they're following the social distancing guidelines. So staying, at minimum 6 feet away from others, but if you're outside, it's pretty easy to stay even farther away. And the good news about being outside is there's so much air circulation compared to being inside, fresh air. Any viral particles are much more likely to kind of move away from you than be trapped in a room with you. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage following his instructions, being outside as much as you want, but just staying a distance away from folks. I will say, having been outside myself recently, that doesn't mean you can't be kind to folks. I think everybody needs that right now, like a smile and saying hello, rather than avoiding eye contact. Eye contact does not spread the virus. A smile does not spread the virus. So I just think it's so important right now to just say hi.
That's a great point. Say hello to people, make eye contact. And also I would add that, being outside doesn't even mean that you have to leave your yard. I mean, you can be, I'd encourage people to garden, or if you don't want to be walking around your neighborhood, just to make sure that you're going outside and sitting on your porch, sitting in your yard for at least 20 minutes a day to be getting that sunlight, getting that fresh air, getting all those chemical compounds from the natural world to help us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's really good advice.
Yeah.
So we will be coming back to you with other installments of kind of coping during this time. Also wanted to remind students that while we're closed next week for spring break as the counseling service, we will be open after spring break. And so, and all appointments taken via Zoom video conferencing software, which I will say works really well. So encourage you to email counseling@spscc.edu if you want to request an appointment.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with the Zoom, and instruction starts April 13th, but we'll be back on campus and ready to serve students virtually starting April 6th. All right. Take good care. Great to see you, Ross.
You too.